Hello and welcome to Variety's Slice of Life. As always, I'm Anthony, and joining me today is the lovely Zach.
Hello.
And Jarrett.
Salutations, Internet.
We are a bi-monthly podcast. If this is your first time joining us, we post on the 1st and 15th of every month, always talking about one specific anime or a broad subject. Today we will be talking about part 2 of this two-part special of our favorite animes and tropes. So if you haven't seen part 1, please go check it out. That was last week's episode. So we're going to start out with Legend of Korra and Avatar for this one because I'm pretty sure we've all seen most of that.
I've seen both of them over and over again, so I mean...
I'm almost done with Korra, so...
Mm-hmm.
I've seen bits and pieces of the original and only the first book of Korra.
So Zach
I
is
literally have seen 0% of anything after the first book.
Understandable.
Yeah. As I stated in the last episode, all my picks for this have been shows that have basically had me have an emotional investment in it to some degree or another. A little cheating with Avatar because Avatar is just one of those things I grew up with as a kid. Like I say kid, I was like a teenager around when it came out.
If you watched Nick, you watched Avatar. You were there for that finale.
Yeah, you watch Avatar, you watch Danny Phantom, My Life as a Teenage Row, the whole shebang of that. But Avatar is, I think, the first thing from Nickelodeon that's ever had a style like that, where it's like heavily influenced by Japanese animation and whatnot, but with culture. and a good story that just helped it through like the rough waters that sometimes can be Nickelodeon.
He knows the OG Nickelodeon cartoon was Captain Mikey.
Hell yeah!
I mean, not cartoon, anime.
Oh.
Don't look too much into it.
If you haven't seen Captain Mikey, just don't worry about it. Korra was it was alright. It was a sequel to Avatar. I still feel like Avatar, in my opinion, is better than Korra was.
Yes, absolutely. I will never fight anyone about that. They are both good. Avatar is better. I'm not gonna lie. Even though I love Korra. Mm-hmm. Avatar is just better. Korra has her strong moments, but as a whole, yeah, Avatar is just better.
Oh yeah.
But I put them together because they still give me both kind of the same emotional investment that I had, given that A is the same world and it's a very still mostly the same characters. Like it's not 100%, but
Mm-hmm.
They go with a relevant time skip that makes sense. Yeah. So, yeah. But Avatar, we follow the events of the 100-Year War in Aang. After being frozen in ice for 100 years, coming back and realizing that, oh man, the world is really kind of fucked up.
We got fire Nazis. Like, goddamn.
Fire Nazis, the water tribes are shattered, the Earth Kingdom's all fucked up. There's spirits roaming around everywhere. There's people with...
There's not really spirits roaming around everywhere. There's like some spirits, but...
Well, I mean, sorry, there are spirits that are... not unrest, that are unhappy, like the Heibai spirit and some of the other crazy ones. And we gotta go on a crazy ass journey across the world to get me trained to be the Avatar, the thing that I kind of ran away from being.
Gotta become the Avatar in like a year or some shit?
Oh god, like something like that.
It was like an insanely short time.
It was. I think it was like a year. It was like you started off with a year, and then when they learned about the covenant, it's like you got until like summer. It was like 3 months away. It's like, oh,
yeah, boy, you fucked.
Like I think I remember they said that the journey to like the north, either Air Temple or Water Tribe, was supposed to be like a 2-week journey. Man, that was a hell of a 2-week journey.
Yeah. And I mean, Avatar is really good about introducing just random characters to you. And then you getting like so attached, like the Kyoshi Warriors was like such a small thing, but like they were so good.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like in the same vein that we talked about last week with My Hero and whatnot, that it's one that like it gives you good villains too. Because like the minor ones like Ty Lee and
General
May,
Tao,
General Tao, and even the I forget her name, but the bounty hunter.
The one that I thought looked like Asami for a while, and then I actually looked up a picture of her, and they don't.
Yeah, they don't. Yeah.
I don't know why.
I mean, like, if you put it in this context, like Ty Lee and her old chi blocking thing carries over into Korra. So if minor side character who was kind of a villain, the importance of her lasts over into a completely different show.
Do they? Because I know they say what happens to Mai, but do they say what happens to Ty Lee?
No.
It's kind of sad.
Yeah. Yeah.
Huh.
Well, we follow the events of Aang becoming the Avatar, supposed to defeat the Fire Lord, who is the big bad, and one of the other main characters, Prince Zuko's dad, who gave him an awesome and horrible scar. Zuko is out to find the Avatar, to get back his birthright and everything, and
reclaim my honor.
Yeah, reclaim my honor. How many times we heard that throughout that show? And along the way, it's the people that Aang meets and the people that join up with him, Toph, and just crazy adventures full of action and comedy and heart-wrenching sadness at times. And with a very good ending that then it ends up getting another show and being Korra. And then it's just the continued line of the Avatar cycle.
I mean, like, structurally it does make sense for there to be another, like, series. Because, I mean, they set it up perfectly, You theoretically have, like, 70 of these. You would just have to keep going with times and all that.
Yeah.
But, like...
And then Korra continues on with that it's a different avatar. It's a completely different person who has different motivations and, hindrances and whatnot, that they're a different personality entirely, and it's her having to deal with that and her quest to be the Avatar, and then she gets a lot more stacked on top of that.
Mm-hmm.
While also, with them being older, focusing more on, the relationships that they can build, and not just, like, we had the one with Aang and Katara, and then Sokka and Yosuke / the Moon.
Real quick,
that entire side point.
I love when they're in the spirit world and fucking they find General Tao, and he's just like, I'm the Moon Killer, like losing his fucking mind.
Oh yeah, when he was stuck in the fog.
Yeah.
It's like Fog of Madness or whatever they called it.
Yeah, the spirit that just makes you crazy. But yeah, I'll say this. I was surprised at how decent Korra was.
Mm-hmm.
I still have quite a bit of problems with it, and watching through it, I have kind of realized specifically what my problems with it are. But it's still an enjoyable show. I much prefer the first season more than anything else that I've seen so far.
The first season, like, and I know you and me have had this conversation that the first season was supposed to be
the only season.
Yeah, it was supposed to be the only season. People who made it weren't fully sure that they were going to get another season, so they at least made the first season encapsulated itself in a good, solid thing, and it is. Is like, for me, it's like 1, 4, 3, and 2. 2 is that kind of the saddest of the
two
ones.
I stopped watching Korra for like months because I just couldn't stand 2. I hated it. I fucking
2 is very weak, and that honestly is the biggest crack that shows that it's like they did not plan on getting another season.
No, they did not. Bad villain, bad writing, bad plot.
Just sad because they still introduced good characters in that one.
Yeah, like they had some really good things that happened in season 2. Like, I love the concept of her being able to cleanse spirits through waterbending, because that makes sense.
Yeah.
But that's it. I hate the villain. I hate the fucking concept. I hate just,
Yeah. But I like it as a continuation, and I like that it has a different take, and it shows like more modern stuff happening in this world that we were so used to.
I'm the dark airbender.
Now.
I'm the dark avatar.
Yeah, and now.
And then, I mean, that kind of highlights the one thing that I truly dislike about Korra is that just the villains. And it's not that I'm saying like I hate the villains. I love the villains. The problem is their story gets wrapped up in a season. Like,
yeah, there's no overarching villain like Avatar did. Like it was Engel, Firelord. Gotcha.
Yeah,
There's
we knew that was going to be the final fight. We were looking forward to that the entire fucking time.
Korra, it's like, who is it this time? It's an equalist, terrorist. Who is it this time? It's your uncle.
Okay.
Who's the next time? Oh, it's an anarchist group. Who's the next time?
The Red Lotus was so close to being cool. They were so fucking close. Yeah. Just the fact that they were an anarchist group just fucking ruined it for me.
They still probably had one of the better murders of the show, though.
Oh, absolutely. Are you talking the suffocation thing?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, God, yeah.
Like, showing off the potential, like, man, airbenders can be really fucked up.
And I honestly went into that thinking, I'm not going to like this character because I don't like the concept of, he's just a bad airbender. It's like, no, I didn't understand that he was, like, obsessed with airbender culture.
Yeah.
That's another thing, the harmonic convergence, that whole plot line pisses me off, but it doesn't...
The entirety of Season 2, yeah.
It doesn't make any sense.
Like I said, Season 2 was just...
Why do just the airbenders come back? Why doesn't random people get like? Well, yeah, but I'm saying like, why don't random people get like firebending or like get their powers swapped? Like, why is it just fucking airbenders?
Maybe they do, and they just don't focus on it because there's already a high population of all the other ones.
I guess I don't know.
But like I said, there are definitely flaws with Korra.
Yeah, but
as a whole, I still enjoy it. As a continuation, I still enjoy it. I like the characters. Avatar and Korra both have the thing I was talking about with My Hero. They have so many characters, but I feel like a lot of the characters are fleshed out to where we know a decent bit about them, including the villains.
It's funny, when I saw Mako and Bolin for the first time, I didn't think I was going to like them, but I ended up actually really liking them.
Oh, I love Bolin. I'm still not a huge fan of Mako, but...
He's the fire one, Mako, right?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Now, yeah, Bolin's really entertaining, but Mako's kind of like a bit too straight edge for me.
Yeah,
still cool,
when it becomes a cop.
Yeah. I just
you're off the case.
I was on the case, like
yeah.
And oh my god, I love anybody that's a metal bender. I'm like, fuck yeah, you are my favorite character. Except for I don't like the main villain of Part 4 so far, but that's besides the point.
You don't like Zelda Williams?
Is that who that is?
Yeah.
God damn it!
Robin Williams' daughter is the voice actor for Kuvira.
I'm sad. Now I feel bad hating her because I like Zelda Williams. Oh, that's sad.
What episode are you on of that?
Like 2 or 3. I'm not very far.
It gets better.
Does it? Okay.
At least in my opinion, her as a villain gets better.
Okay.
Crazy.
I'm not a huge fan already, but
just wait till like the last 5 episodes.
But like, it's like, yeah, they had some really cool concepts. Like, I always thought lava bending was like, I thought of it as a concept, but I was like, no, it's not possible. And then they fucking did it. I'm like, oh.
I mean, they did with a character that makes sense.
Yeah.
Mom and Dad were fire and earth benders.
Yeah.
It makes sense.
It's perfect. Another combustion bender, which is weird to me because I want to know how the fuck that works. I thought it was just the one dude, but nah.
I feel like it would be air and fire, but that's a very odd combination.
That's a hard combination to do.
That is a hard combination to do.
And then like, fuck, what else do we have? We had the limbless waterbender, which is cool.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, that's what like that was one thing that really interested me about Avatar, was just like just how like you think it's just like surface level, it's just the 4 elements, and then it's like and there's like the kind of the combination ones, and then there's like just like like weird like side things like metal, lightning, blood,
Sand.
Swamp.
yeah.
Oh, the sandbenders. Also, ice is always a thing, but like it's always just coupled in with water. It's never like its own thing. It's like, oh, he's an ice bender. No, it's just water.
I always thought like
Just mess with.
every nation has their own like secondary element. Like fire has lightning, earth has metal, water has like blood and ice and all that stuff. I'm like, man, what's air? And then I realized, oh yeah, these fuckers can just kind of fly.
Yeah.
Not like fucking what's his face fly, but like, you know, they have their gliders and shit.
Yeah.
I was kind of sad about it. I'm like, he can just fly now? Cool. What the fuck?
Yeah. I've broken from this mortal coil.
It's like my boy. Also, most brutal death I think I've ever fucking seen in Avatar. Holy fuck.
Yeah, no. Yeah, Boom Boom Lady's stuff. Oh, man.
Oh.
Yeah, Combustion Girl's death is... Whew.
Like, god damn, you were going hard. You didn't have to go that fucking hard.
Yeah, like I thought Suffocation was bad, but that one was oof.
Yeah, I'll give Korra that. They were fucking violent.
You know, for kids.
For kids, watch
Yeah.
this lady detonate her fucking head.
Yeah. For the kids, watch us suffocate this awful, awful character. She deserves it, but, you know, it's a little horrifying thing. Let me just put a bubble around her head and suck out all the air.
Suck out the air from her lungs.
Which the visual for that is the thing that gets me. Like, it'd be one thing if you just had a bubble around, but you can see the air being sucked out, and it's like, oh, okay then.
And like her eyes
Yeah.
like bulging out and becoming red. I'm like,
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, and the visuals for the horrifying things of the season, like the poison.
Oh yeah, the mercury.
Yeah.
That was
Yeah.
weird.
Oh.
They also like weirdly set up more Red Lotus stuff and then they drop it completely.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not crazy, right? They don't come back to that.
Uh,
They even say like, oh, we don't know how many more Red Lotus members there are out there, and then that's it.
we lucked out. There was only 4.
The Equalists and the Red Lotus need to team up. Have a
I
fourth.
still, yeah, like the first season was done so well because like not only like you had 2 baddies, you had Amon, and then you had fucking Tarlock with his own like political subplot that Silva was trying to work within the law and everything. He was just a very crooked politician.
I don't know how I felt about Tarlock just straight up being a bloodbender, or his. I don't know how I feel about Amon being like god level bloodbender. I'm not the huge fan of the whole bending thing, but like just the fact that he's so fucking strong is just weird to me. But I like the whole taking their bending away, and that's like fucking with people. Like, goddamn, that's a terrifying topic.
Yeah.
But
The metal bending cops are fantastic.
oh, I love that. I love how they're just the Dai Li agents, but like beat cops.
Yeah.
And they fucking jump around like Spider-Man.
Fallout Zeppelins.
Badasses.
That's still probably one of the best parts about Korra is I like the modernity in it.
Mm-hmm.
The modern stuff, or more modern. It's like
20s America,
yeah.
I mean, and it's kind of weird because like the first season, it's really heavy with that. Like, they don't leave Republic City for the first season. But then like the other seasons, it's like the rest of the world's still kind of the same. It's like, yeah, it's a bit more modernized, but like Ba Sing Se is still just Ba Sing Se, but now they have like electric trains. It's like now Republic City is just fucking 1920s America. But also the visuals are really good in the first season and the 4th and 3rd season. Second season's visuals drop like a lot, but the fight scenes are really good, really clean looking. All the hits look
pro bending.
Pro bending though. Okay, yeah, we gotta talk about that for a bit. What a cool concept.
Yeah.
Like, because it seemed like it was like Toph's like fighting ring thing, but now it's just like an official sport.
Yeah.
Oh, and I love that.
Yeah, they made that very, very well. And kind of a logical thing. Like, I imagine, like, when there's out of war or anything, I imagine when there's downtime and peace, like, someone would make a sport out of this.
Yeah. And I like that it shows off, like, that was one of my cool things, like, Korra had to, like, she essentially learned modern fighting instead of the old shitty techniques that are like slow and she learned how to throw a punch and throw a boulder at the same time.
Yeah.
Also, I'm glad she learned how to metal bend. Because you know how fucking adamant about that I was. Like, she should have learned the other kinds of bending.
Yeah. And how Aang just could not. I mean, Aang could barely get a hold of freaking earthbending. He's just
yeah.
Nope, can't do it.
But
no, but Korra and Avatar is like combined is a very great, wonderful, encompassing piece of work that I cannot recommend enough to people, even to like non-anime fans. It's a good. It is probably the best non like Japanese animation thing to come out. Like, at least in that style, it's really good. Like, I am saying, like, in that style, like, where it's, inspired by Japanese and whatnot.
Oh, yeah, no.
Like, I'm not talking, and I'm not putting it up against, like, cartoons and stuff and, like, other, like, animated movies and stuff that come out. But, like, in its own, like, pocket category of, like, it's almost anime, but not quite. It is probably, like, one of the best, hands down.
I mean, I'm sure Korra and... Avatar and all that shit got others into anime, because, I mean, it's the closest thing you can get that's still an American cartoon that would be on, like, a common platform.
Yeah.
So, like, I'm sure that it's a good bridge or gateway to other shit.
Oh, yeah. I mean, hell, it was for me.
Exactly.
Avatar was probably one of the things that got me back into anime.
Cool. Well, yeah, we're probably going to be having the core debate fairly soon, so look forward to that.
Mm-hmm.
Or we'll gush about it even more, and I'll vent my problems, and Jarrett will be mad.
I'll vent my problems about Ventura, and
I'll
Anthony will be mad. And
All
Zach will just be concerned.
Zach will be hosting.
Yep. Oh, you mean refereeing?
Yeah, a bit of both.
We'll just get...
Welcome to the great debate.
Listen, if it doesn't end with a fist fight, I will be sad. Because there's distance.
Just the final, like, scene of the podcast, just us fist fighting in, like, a parking lot.
I'm just wearing a shirt that says Legend of Korra. You're wearing a shirt that says Book of Pandora.
The end of the one Rocky movie.
Alright, we might have to do that. Anyways. So, Zach, you wanted to do... You've possibly changed what you wanted to do, so what'd you want to bring up?
Yeah, I was originally going to talk about 3D, but then I was like, eh. And then I thought, it's like, when we were talking about, like, my favorite episode, and we were just talking about, like, that one Avatar episode, it just made me think, it's like, oh, that'd make a interesting topic, is, like, both the scene that we think is, like, the funniest and the saddest.
The funniest and the saddest from animes.
Oh.
Yeah. So I'll start off. But both of mine are actually from the same anime, which is an anime called Kotara-san, which is an anime about a girl who can read people's minds.
Ooh. And
then, so the saddest scene is like the first 10 minutes of the first episode. So like the anime starts with like her being born, and it like goes through her life of her ability to read people's mind, where she like kind of has like she loses a lot of her friends because she kind of like creeps them out, scares them away, reveals their secrets. So like her friends just constantly leave her, and then she ruins her like parents' relationship also because of it.
Oh,
like because she just kind of reveals like infidelity and stuff.
Oof.
And like causes them to fight and stuff. So like you just get like it just keeps getting increasingly sadder as like her parents get divorced, and her friends just keep leaving her, and then it just like culminates at like the mom taking Kotara to her grandfather's house and just abandoning her there.
Jesus.
Yeah, like, and like the grandfather's like yelling, it's like, what the hell are you doing? You're just leaving your daughter like this. And it's like, and then like Kota like tries to run to her mom, and then she's like, "You're not my daughter." It's like, "You're a monster," and she like pushes her down on the ground and just walks off.
Fuck.
It just like the grandpa's like fucking pissed. He's like, "It's like I never want to see you again." And then like it kind of like continue. Like also might add that this whole like scene is like kind of like black and white, kind of like it's muted colors, like it's very dark. And then so it starts off with her entering high school as like a transfer student, and she's just like dead inside. Like her face is so dead. She can read people's minds, but she just like ignores it at this point. Like people are bad mouthing her, she's like, "Oh, whatever, I don't give a shit."
Jeez.
And then like she gets her introduction, and she passes by like this guy, and she reads his mind, and he's just thinking of like the dumbest thing ever. Like it's just nonsense doo-doo trash. It's the best way to describe it. And she's just flabbergasted, and then he's just like, "What?" And then like the whole screen just shatters, and then color comes back.
Huh.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's a whole interesting thing. And like also like interesting tidbit is that you never see the dad's face, but you see like the mom's face, and she gets increasingly like more disheveled, and like her eyes become more hollow.
I kind of have one. It's not necessary. It kind of follows this, but like, it's a super serious anime that has essentially no comedy whatsoever, except for one scene, and it's Another. Another is just murder porn, the anime. It is like insanely dark, insanely gritty, and there's just like this one scene where they're like sitting in class, and the whole thing is that the entire class has to ignore one kid in the class, and if they acknowledge them at any point, people will start dying because of like some dumb curse, and that's like how they counteract it. It's really stupid. So then the one character starts, noticing her, and they're like, "Well, fuck, what do we do?" And they're like, "All right, fuck it, we're going to ignore him now too, because that'll just counteract it." And I'm like, and so essentially they're ignoring both of the main characters. And then just they get up and start like doing the Charleston and shit in front of the entire class. And you're like, what the fuck? And then it just cuts back, and he's just sitting in his desk. Like, that was just all in his head. And it came out of fucking nowhere. Oh, it was so jarring. I was not ready for that. But then in contrast, that one of the saddest scenes I've ever seen it's in Ergo Proxy. And oh my god, so Pino, the robot girl, she doesn't really understand like a lot of human stuff very well, and they end up escaping from the city, and like they find like a group of people that are like camping outside the city, and they make friends with them. And Pino makes friends with this like young boy, and like you see them just constantly like hanging out, drawing pictures. Like he'll draw a picture, and since she's a robot, she just copies the exact same picture. And he's like, "Hey, draw your own stuff." And she's like, I drew this. And he's like, "But I drew that." He's like, "Well, yeah, but I drew this one." And there's like, no difference, obviously. But, there's a scene, right, where like a droid, like a robot comes by, and it's like scanning the area for life forms to like kill. And everyone usually hides away from it, and there's never any problem. But like the kids, like Pino the robot and like the kid, were just out and about in like their treehouse. And the android scans Pino, like this little android girl, and nothing happens because she's an android, so she's not like a living life form. And then you just see it go over to the kid, and it cuts, and then it comes back, and Pino's like back in the city, and like she finds his mom, and is like, "Hey mom, so and so's mom, will you tell your son to stop being so mean? He won't talk to me." Blah, blah, blah. And she's like, "All right, I'll come over and I'll talk to him." She's like, "Yeah, he just won't come out of the treehouse, blah, blah, blah." And then it cuts, and you just see his arm dangling off the side of like the treehouse they built. And then like a little bit later, you just hear the mom scream, and I'm like, oh my god, like fucking Christ.
Yeah, like definitely like anything that ever does that, where it's like a character doesn't realize another character is dead, is always super fucked up.
Yeah. Yeah, that was something else when I watched. I was like, oh man, that was so sad.
Do you want to go, Jared, or do you want me to move on to my funnies?
Go ahead and move on to your funny. We'll come back.
Yeah.
To
Alright, let's see. So, like I said, my funniest is also from the same one as my saddest, from Kotora-san, and it's like in this like arc where they I don't really remember exactly what happens, but like I think this one girl who's like in love with the main character says something like bad to Kotora about like she's going to drive everyone away at some point. So Kotora runs away to go back to her grandfather's mansion, and so like all of her friends track her down, like they track her down and follow her to the mansion, and it gets to like the point where they're at the mansion, and then they're talking to the grandfather, and Kotora-san Kotora walks into the room, and she sees them, and she like instantly like runs away, and they all start chasing her, and because they're trying to catch her, and they all split up while they're looking for her, and the main character, like the main guy character, who like Kotora is like kind of in love with him, and he's in love with her too, and he's like so like just like he's a huge pervert, and he's just like he doesn't hide anything, and he can't even if he wanted to because she can read his mind. But he's like in his mind, he's like thinking, it's like Kotora, where are you? It's like we all care about you. It's like we want to find you. He's like giving this like heartfelt speech about how they all care about her, and she's like hiding behind a pillar, like right behind him, and she like is coming out to talk to him because she's like done running away. But as she's about to like call out to him, he's just like, okay, now I'm mad. And then he starts like going to this tirade about how he's like going to like spank her and do all this like perverted stuff to her.
Jesus Christ.
And then she's like, she's shocked, so she just like starts to slowly back away, but she doesn't realize that she's backing into one of her other friends. So as soon as she like hits her, the girl just like grabs her around the waist, is like, I got her, and she throws her on the ground, and then the third friend comes out and throws a net on her. And the girl is just like flailing and crying as she's like in a freaking like fishing net. I just love that scene so much. Just because, like, just her just throwing her on the ground, and then the third guy just coming out of nowhere with the net.
Oh, actually reminded me. I'm gonna do my funniest and then my saddest, because my saddest ties in with the next one.
Mm-hmm.
But God, the weirdness of that actually reminded me in the newer Voltron Legendary Defenders, towards the end of the, it's like season 7 or season 8, because like in the middle of the seasons get really short for some reason, and the last one's like very long, and the first like 3 are very long. They have a crazy interdimensional game show that the characters get stuck in, because basically it's just like a god level creature basically just runs this game show, and he'll just pull in things to compete in this game show.
Real quick, when you finish this one, let me say something, because I gotta talk to you about something now.
Okay then. Concern. But I just remember the insanity of this, because it's such a odd meta. It's like a weird meta game show, and they just keep referencing small things that have happened in the series and they get different people's reactions to it from the main, Voltron crew. So like they talk about, it's like, oh, where did you meet this character? It's like, wait, did we meet them here? It's like, no. It's like, we met them here. Wait a minute. No, but we met them here. It's just everyone and basically ends up telling weird stories about the same event, but different things happened. Like when they explain how they got this cow that they somehow have on their ship. And like it goes through like all 5 people, and all 5 people have a drastically different version of what happened, but they all end up with the cow somehow. And then there's in a different show, the entire episode of Devil is a Part-Timer, where they're having the rivalry between the newly opened up. It's not KFC. It's whatever that show's facsimile is for KFC. It's like McDonald's, and how Mao, who's the devil from another world, treats it like a war.
Oh.
Yeah, no, he's like, we need to get intelligence and other things on this. It's like we send out the flyer, but like treats it like a war, but still within like normal human capacity. It's like, oh, we need to get information on them. We need to know who these people are. In the meantime, it's like send out flyers, throw out the coupons.
Yeah,
It's also during like a festival.
Well, I love it because like he sends the other guy, like the one guy who lives with him, and he's just going and ordering he's just going there and like ordering like a coffee or whatever, but he's acting like it's a reconnaissance mission. It's like super big deal, but like no one really cares because it's just him ordering like a little bit of food. Like,
oh yeah, and he meets some of the other characters at that restaurant at the grand opening. He's like, can I get your coupons for these meals? Like, they're the only 2 items I haven't tried, but I need those 2. And they like con him into like answering other questions about stuff in order to get the coupons. So it's just like the entire like side is just him ordering basically everything off of the menu just to let his boss know what he's having to deal with. I love small, weird, funny episodes like that. It's just like, yeah, not really anything serious happening. It's just like it's a small, normal event that's just blown into a weird, like almost action proportion.
So, it's really funny that you mentioned that, because the exact same thing happens in Ergo Proxy, like to the T. Where essentially a godlike being pulls them into a game show and quizzes them on shit that happens throughout the series so far. When you said that, I did like a double take. Like, what the fuck is he talking about? Is he talking about Ergo Proxy?
Yeah, no, that literally happens in like towards the end of one of the. I want to say it's season 7. Yeah, no, it's just a godlike being, just like it's like, do you guys remember this person? They show someone that was like from way early on the season. Is like, I don't recognize it. It's like, oh no, I recognize him. It's like, when did we meet him? It's like, well, I don't think you were there. Where was I? Off doing something.
Oh, but yeah, it was really, and like it seemed really random at first, but then like the further into the series you learned that like these godlike beings just kind of do whatever the fuck they want. Like there's one guy that has like a theme park. Mm-hmm. The show is called Who Wants to Be in Jeopardy? Yeah, it's really good. Yeah, I love it. And the characters even acknowledge, like, what the fuck are we doing here? Like, we were just in a boat. Like, how the hell did we get here? And then after that episode, they don't remember any of it. And it's like, okay. And it fits. It's fucking weird, but it fits. Anyways.
Oh yeah, that's right. I forgot. It's a the episode. Oh, it was right. It is the 7th season. It's the 4th episode. It's called just The Feud, and it's actually what the game show is called. Amazing. Well, actually, I mean the game show is in an unpronounceable weird alien text, but it translates to The Feud, and it's also the name of the episode. But it's just it literally looks like almost a 1-for-1 of Family Feud, but just with weird things going on for like side games, and then all these like, who is this character, like Bebo B, and
that's really weird that it's the exact same premise of that fucking episode too. Oh
god, that's right, I forgot. They have the idiot character try and remember a list of people, and he's like, he keeps getting all their names wrong until it's like one weird obscure character. It's like, oh yeah, no, I know who he is.
All right, and then you said you had your saddest one as well.
Oh yeah, because this will tie into our next one.
Oh, I already know what the fuck you talking about then.
Oh yeah. It was gonna be something from Death Parade, but then I remember this and I'm like, oh wait, yeah, no, Kamina's death from Gurren Laggan. Oh, actually, that and the few minutes before that, like his whole talk with
Simone,
and I'm just like, oh god, it's not Simmons, oh, it's Simone. I'm like, oh, yeah, I thought about it, like, oh, my heart, it hurts.
Yeah,
it's so sad.
Such a manly death.
Such a manly but sad death.
And he's a beautiful example of a character that is not in the show at all, but has such a lasting impact.
Yeah, because he's in for 10? Like 7 or 10 episodes?
7 episodes. He dies in episode
7 episodes out of 40 something?
Yeah.
Like, but he's brought up almost like every episode after that.
Yeah. And just like the way he like slumps over in the mech is just so fucking heartbreaking.
Ugh.
I got like really heavy, when I was playing Danganronpa, I got some really heavy Kamina vibes from fucking, the 2 dude bros. I forget their names. Zach knows what I'm talking about.
Yeah, Mondo and, fuck, I said his name earlier today, and now I can't even remember it anymore.
The ultimate moral compass. But yeah, like Gurren Lagann has that like weird ability to just give these characters instant moments of just complexity, like when Kamina finds his father's skull.
Yeah.
And it's just like, it's a coincidence, yeah, but it's like, fuck, that's like a lot of character for him just right there. Like, hey, your dad did not make it, and neither did you.
Yeah. You know what else is also really sad? In Kill la Kill, just Ryuko's entire backstory.
What is her backstory?
Is really
I don't actually remember it.
Because, well, she has the same mom as Satsuki.
That's right. Okay,
but she was experimented on first, you know, for the June kits and the whatever it was called. But it looked like it failed, so she literally just got thrown away.
Yeah.
And then the dad literally transformed his body, faked his own death, and you rescued her.
I love how
he died.
His body. It's so stupid.
Super hunched, just.
Yeah. And like, didn't he have like an eye patch and like a pig leg, or am I?
Yeah, something like that. He got really old looking too for some reason, even though he basically looked like a young Professor Oak to begin with.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of characters, you know, have really sad backstories, but hers felt like especially fucked up.
I know.
Wanted by nobody.
It's like just like experimented on and then just tossed away because it didn't seem like the experiment worked. Like, whew. Like by your own mother too. It's like, oh.
Since and they were talking about Ergo Proxy, which reminded me of like a really sad anime that I just want to throw out as like a recommendation, if like just in the hopes I could get like maybe one person like listening to watch, and that would just be Plastic Memories, which is it's an anime about like a guy who works at an agency that like collects these like rent out robots, and their job is to come and collect the robots and wipe their memories. And they're like, he's working with a robot who is like super close to her due date of getting her memory wiped. So like, it's like super sad because it's just about like, you know, memories and like what makes a person, and like you already know that the main girl's gonna get like lose her memories, but it's like just so like sad. Like every episode is just like just based around those concepts, and it's like absolutely heartbreaking every time.
Oh.
Oof. All right, well, let's transition over to hypest anime of all time, with one of the saddest moments. That being Gurren Lagann. Um,
Oh boy, where to begin?
God damn, that show is almost perfect.
Yeah.
Every show has to have. See, that's the thing is, I can tear apart any show that I love. I could sit here all fucking day and tell you what I dislike about Bleach or what I dislike about that, you know. But it's because you love it that you care so much. Like Gurren Lagann, I mean, you know, obviously, big glaring issue is just that weird animation change for like an episode or two. It was really weird and out of place and bad. But other than that, it's a banger of an anime. A lot of great characters, a lot of good character design. Everybody's really memorable.
Very good action.
Yeah, oh god, so good action. And it's animated by Studio Trigger, so that's, you know, already a fucking thumbs up.
Well, before then, Gainax.
That's right.
Yeah,
Same,
right,
basically
Trigger.
the same thing, but and this is like the quintessential mech anime, in my opinion. Aside from like maybe Power Rangers to a degree or whatever, like.
I mean, Gundam was like the baseline, but then Gurren Lagann was like this, like, hey, what if I did this with it?
But how could you forget about Zoids?
Don't talk about Zoids.
Chaotix. That's not mech, but
It's nowhere near it back.
yeah, we should have a Chaotix episode.
Oof.
Ooh,
Wait,
yeah.
no, we are gonna have an episode. Isn't that like the
Oh,
toys,
you're right.
like
You're
get
right.
this show for like toys and products?
You're right. But yeah, like so Gurren Lagann, like what I love about it is it's really old. It's like what, 2007?
2006.
Fuck. But like it still holds up to this day. It is so crisp looking and so clean, and it's like because it's stylized. It's like Kill la Kill and, you know, Space Patrol Luluco. It looks so different that it can hold up to the test of time. And I appreciate that. It makes it look beautiful and really nice.
I've really grown to, and I only really got a good appreciation for this after watching the 4 parts of JoJo that I've watched, and that's just the scale in which that show ramps up. I like,
Yeah.
because you literally start off in just a hole under the surface that kind of goes nowhere, and then you burst out, and just the scale from everything from then on just expands like exponentially, and it's just by the end of the show they're literally punching galaxies together.
I think they might hold the record for biggest like thing in an anime. Because you ever see those scales like, oh, biggest things, you know, in fictional universe, fucking like the Space Smasher Daiguren is like always number 1 because it fucking just grabs literal galaxies and smashes them together.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so good. Another problem that I kind of have with Gurren Lagann though is just like the anti-spirals kind of come out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Like the Animal King, it's like, yeah, you were introduced to that pretty damn early on.
Spiral King.
Spiral.
Animal
I'm
King.
sorry, I don't know
The
why. I said
Animal King. I mean, he had animal like generals.
Yeah, that's why I was thinking of
The
it.
Animal King.
It's a
Welcome
giraffe.
Welcome to Animal Kingdom.
Like all the generals were really cool looking. They all had like cool gimmicks and like were interesting mixes of animals. Like I loved the scorpion lady. She was weird as fuck, but I loved her. And I love just the whole reasoning why they combine. It's so stupid. He's just like, yeah, I'm gonna put him on top of my head, and just plops him there.
Oh, it worked.
Oh, it's so good. Like, it's literally just like I'm so manly, I'm going to make this work with my pure man energy. It's like the essence of that fucking anime. But, so, like, Kamina's whole arc is really depressing because he looked up to his father for so long, and then to find out his father essentially died the moment he got out there is just, like, I couldn't imagine that.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, that person you've been idolizing? Yeah, no.
I mean, then even it's the same with like Simone. Like, dude, idolize him, and then it's just like the mentality just carries with him into basically until the end. It's just like it's crazy the people and things that you can attach yourself to that like kind of help define you.
And then another really good sad moment is the wedding scene at the very end of the series.
Oh
Yeah, that's a really beautiful scene, but it's really
I
sad.
had forgotten. Oh, why do you hurt me like this? I had forgotten about that. I had repressed that.
I don't even remember that at all.
Oh,
Where his wife is like, they get married, they kiss, and then she essentially disintegrates. It's big sad.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I don't even remember that at all. I barely remember like the latter half of Gurren Lagann.
Yeah, season 2 kind of got a little weird when they all got like
Season
older.
2, it's just the second half.
Second half, yeah.
Yeah.
Where they just got all like older. I don't know. It felt kind of weird. Kind of did the same thing Korra did, where it's like, hey, cool, now we have politics and all this other shit that you don't care about.
I mean, I feel like it still fed in. Like it was definitely a break from what we had seen previously. But
Yeah, I mean, Teacher Yoko,
I appreciate it.
That's all I'm saying. Keeping that silence in. Anyways.
Remember that one little kid we saved? Well, now he's like a political asshole.
Yeah.
Like he's coming from a good place, but God, is he an asshole?
I love that town where they find that kid. It's such a fucking... Oh, God, they're like worshipping one of the mechs. And the guy leading it is like, yeah, I can't read. This book I have is fake.
Yeah, it's like, you sent people to die for this thing.
Oh,
What
God,
the
he's
fuck?
such an asshole.
God.
Oh, he's voiced by Zuko in the dub.
Is he?
Yeah, not
He
the asshole,
does not
the
sound
asshole
like-
kid. That's what, not the...
It's like he does not sound like Dante Bosco. Although I've learned that Dante does have a range, so it's like I can believe it. Like that, like there are things that make me tear up, like Communist death, the wedding. Honestly, the entire life of the animal dude that is just immortal. Now
The animal dude that's immortal? Who?
the guy who's constantly fighting with Simone. The one of the
Spiral
generals.
King?
No, not Spiral King. The guy that Spiral King makes immortal. The one who ends up taking over the fleet at the end.
Like the monkey guy?
Yeah.
I don't remember that.
Yeah, it's literally he's the first animal person that Kamina has a fight with.
Yeah, I remember that. I don't remember him becoming
Yeah,
immortal.
no, Spiral King made him immortal.
Fuck?
Like, because he's like you will. It's like you are the messenger of, the tale of this.
Why
So
the
he
hell
made
does
him
the
immortal.
Spiral King have so much fucking power?
Exactly. But he made him immortal, and that was his whole thing. It's like, yeah, he's like, because he went crazy for a while, and he's like, yeah, no, I'm just gonna go help you fight the anti-spirals. I got nothing better to do.
That was also like kind of a weird thing that I'm sad about is they didn't really develop a lot of the background characters, even though I wanted them to.
Yeah, like the kids.
You had the flamboyant mechanic, you had the kids, you had like those two twins that were like super buff and manly.
Yeah.
You had the guy that drove the yellow mech with the spiky hair that was like kind of Kamina's rival for like a bit.
I remembered his death, and now I'm sad again. His death.
His death was pretty bad.
His death, and then all the older people, like the twins and whatnot, all their deaths are.
Yeah.
Especially the mechanic, because it's like you have a wife and kids that are like very prominent so far in the second half. It's like, it's like, wow, those really young kids are gonna grow up without their dad.
Yep.
It's like, Jesus.
They saved the universe, but they lost their dad.
Oh God.
That's also like I love that final scene where like Simone has like his I forget her name, the girl, is like she's like sitting in his lap while he's like piloting the mech. I'm like, yeah, that's fucking sick. And like the music in Gurren Lagann though is so good. Rap opera. I'm not a huge fan of the rap part, but like the opera of like hardcore shit is awesome. No, I take it back. I'm a fan of the rap of Gurren Lagann. Not a fan of the rap of Kill la Kill though.
Yeah.
It fits in Gurren Lagann, not in Kill la Kill.
The Kill la Kill one is really bad. The Gurren Lagann one is amazing. Like, it's like the row, fight the power. It's like do the impossible.
Oh god! And then you get the fucking woman like belting out that awesome opera, and you're like, oh yes, it's so good.
And then like the actual final like bit where it's just like it's all of them being older as they're going off to as the big Gurren is going off to go fight the anti-spirals. It's just like you see old man Simone by himself, you see Yoko, and you see someone else. It's just like, oh crap, so this is what he's doing with his life. It's like, that's sad, but it makes sense because he's still just digging.
Yeah.
He's talking to some kid. He's just like, yeah, no.
Man, Yoko was like a really interesting character. It bothers me that she's so young. She doesn't need to be that young.
Yeah.
Just say she's like 18. That's all you have to do, my man. She doesn't have to be 14.
Yeah.
Oh boy. But I love her. I love her weapon, the electronic rifle that shoots anything you load into it. It's really cool.
Yeah.
Also, the animals in that world are really weird. Do you remember the grape hippo thing?
No.
That she shoots with a fucking arrow? It's like a hippo, but its body has like giant grapes on it. It's really weird. Yeah. And then, what the fuck? Zach, you know the name of these. It's like the title cards that switch between scenes when there's a commercial break.
An eye catch.
Eye catch, yeah. The eye catches for Gurren Lagann are like just every single one of those is fucking beautiful.
Yeah.
And just accompanied with the row, fight the power.
Oh, it's so good. And then the music, this is a really obscure reference, but the music reminds me a lot of Sly 1's Mugshots level, because it's got that like dirty bass guitar, like, you know.
Highly specific.
It's very, it's very, if you've played the game and you like the level, you know what I'm talking about. If not, and fucking don't worry about it, but.
I think Gurren Lagann was like one of the first recommendations you guys gave me. And I was like, wow, this is really freaking good, and I can't put it down. I'm going to finish this, and I finished it very quickly. I was like, shit, that was a roller coaster.
The box set, like the primo box set that has like the book of like has art in it and shit. It's like $200.
Yeah, I have it on my Amazon wish list. It is so expensive.
Yeah, it's definitely worth it, but it's.
Well, last episode, I was gushing about how much I loved the voice acting and like how I would move with the thing of like the Detroit Delaware Smash and the United States Smash. Gurren Lagann definitely has that with. Like, I don't like as much as the English. The English one is good, but I still prefer the Japanese one of the communist fucking Giga Drill Breaker.
Yeah. Just that scream though.
Yeah, because like the English one is good, but the Japanese one has the smaller like edge over with because in English he's just break, but in Japanese he's like break. Ah.
I want to talk about Kami's design real quick because it's like such a I'm trying to be a badass macho guy. And it's so over the top that it works. Like, if he didn't commit to it as hard as he does, it wouldn't be cool. But the fact that he does, you're just like, yeah. No shirt, fucking pants tied on with, like, ribbon, a big-ass cape.
Slightly taped up chest.
Oh, God. And then, like, big-ass obnoxious sunglasses. Like, and a katana for some reason.
And the, traditional Japanese-looking sandals. Just
yeah. Oh, it's so it's iconic.
I mean, yeah, Kamen is such a good character. He's so into his own fucking hype. I love him.
You cannot be this much into your own hype. I am the hype.
That's one of the few shows I will say this is a hype fest through and through. You will not be disappointed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's so cheesy and over the top, but that's what makes it so good. Like no other anime could get away with like this with the scale it does, where it's just like, yeah, we're as big as the moon now, and now we're smashing galaxies.
I feel like that's just like, I feel like that's almost just like a property to Trigger. Trigger just, they make crazy stuff that just somehow works. It's like we talk about like the scale of Gamagori and like Kill la Kill, and though that's a smaller scale, like his size changes so much, and I kind of
like
attribute
first
crazy
appearance,
changes.
he takes up like half the fucking room he's in.
Yeah.
Yeah, Gynax and Trigger definitely definitely just can get away with it just because of who they are. Like no other company could have made Gurren Laggan, no other company could have made Panties and Stocking, Kill la Kill, Lulico, fucking Inferno Cop. No one else could do these.
No. Oh, have you seen Penny and Stockings yet, Jarrett?
No.
Highly recommended. It's just the comedy of like Gurren Laggan and Kill la Kill, but that's the entire thing. There's like no action, but it's really funny all the time. And what I love about it is it's like you could watch something and you like, I couldn't tell how old Penny and Stockings or Gurren Laggan or Kill la Kill. I can't tell you how old that is. The only reason why I know how old Gurren Laggan is because like I talk about that quite often. We're like, this anime is fucking 14 years old. It looks like it's brand fucking new though.
Yeah.
Because like the more, yeah, it was like, because it's like a thing like with anime and video games. Like the more stylized something, if you stylize something and make it unique, then it's gonna be timeless.
Like
yet
Wind
people
Waker
never
and shit.
really don't want to get that. It's like they want to make it look modern. And I was just like, make it look fun, you know? Like break, like dear anime companies, learn how to break your models and go off model, because it's super funny and it will make it timeless.
Oh yeah, and it'll make it even more memorable if you do a good job with it. Oh fuck, what's that? There's an anime coming out recently, or it's a movie, I think. I don't know if you guys know about this because I just saw a trailer for it in Japanese recently, but it's like a 70s like anime that they're making modern. And it looks like realistic, but all the proportions are still like the old style, so it looks like really weird, but really interesting. I'll have to pull up a trailer for it later, but I'm like, oh, it looks so good.
Interesting.
And Gurren Lagann also has a very good point where I don't feel that they overstayed their welcome in any way.
Yeah.
They began and ended the show properly, and I'm glad that there wasn't any more or any less of it.
Yeah.
And don't get me wrong, as much as I'd fucking love another season of the Hype Master, but like it would ruin the show.
Yeah. Yeah. Like as much as you say like we would like to see more stuff like that, there's just those shows that they had the right length, they had the right action, and it's good. They had a good ending.
You told your story, get off the stage.
Yep. Like Bebop, Gurren has that.
I mean, I feel like Death Parade could have gone on longer, personally speaking.
Yeah.
I feel like that was kind of too short. I feel like they could have gone 24 episodes and told the same story, but better.
Yeah.
Well, because the story's not even done.
Is it not?
They didn't finish the story in the first season.
Yeah.
It was definitely incomplete.
I mean, yeah. We're just gonna switch over to Death Parade at this point because that was the next topic, anyways. But
yeah.
Was there more? I thought because I remember it ends with him like making a doll of her, and then.
Yeah, I mean the whole story of her is complete, but like the story of everything else is definitely not fully told. There's still like a lot of intrigue going around, like surrounding everything that they just
freaking
never,
Oculus.
they don't explore very well.
I forgot you told me that Death Parade it's an original anime, isn't it?
Yes, correct. It's actually based on they made an I think it was like college students or something. They made an OVA called Death Billiards that was so well received that they're like, yeah, just make a full anime, and then they made Death.
Death Parade is. I highly recommend going to see it. It is a beautiful, beautiful anime with like amazing art style, a fucking bop of an opening, really interesting premise, and just like really well-made characters.
Not exactly the best one to watch when you're sad, except for episode 3. Definitely watch that when
Watch
you're sad.
episode 3, but
anything else, no, don't.
be prepared for a trip on the Feels train.
Oh my god, yeah. That show I feel is a very good representation of an emotional roller coaster without having a canonical like plot. If that makes sense. Like it's not just like one plot through and through. It's almost episodic, and it's just like every episode. It's just something different, and it's so much like I have not watched that in. I have not watched the anime in honestly I think a couple of years, but I can still pinpoint episodes that made me feel something.
Yeah.
That's 3. That is the episode with the actress and the guy who commits suicide.
Oh yeah, with his like he lives with like his dad and his stepmom, and his stepmom's like really trying to like be like, hey, you know, like I'm not your mom, but like, you know, can we be friends or something? He's like, yeah, whatever.
Yeah, like that episode, and then the one with the 2 murderers. Like those 3 episodes stand out to me so much. Actually, there's 4. The one with Genji, and I hate Genji as a character. I hate him so fucking much because of the bullshit that he pulls.
Genji
His
is
whole-
the
He's
elevator?
the other. He's
No.
the other part.
Okay, he's the bartender that runs like the traditional Japanese bar.
Yeah, I love him and I hate him. I hate him so much because of the bullshit that he pulls.
Why, Jarrett? What is the bullshit he pulls?
He tricks her into the elevator.
Yeah.
Remember that?
No, I remember that. I was just taking
He
Jarrett
tricks her into the fucking void. I'm just like, I literally was stunned for that. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah, she didn't
Like,
deserve that.
you piece of shit.
Ugh.
I'm like,
It's so like that whole like progression that felt like was definitely underwritten. Like was one like they don't really because like the whole thing about her not even getting in the elevator in the first place is something like they don't really explore much. And then like you never really get to see her again. And then like next time you see her, he tricks her into the elevator and kills her. And it's just like there's a lot like going on with that could have been better written.
Yeah, I'm just like I've never been so angry at a character before. I'm just like, and the fact that they show it, like they show her just ending up in the void. I'm just like, what the fuck?
I kind of get almost Monokuma vibes when it comes to like when they present the games. Like, do you remember what I'm talking about? Like when they bring up the dartboard one, and it's like doing like a weird panning shot around in like a circle, and like it kind of reminds me of the executions.
Or, well, no, I haven't seen that, but I remember what you're talking about with the presentation. The game is like
very well done, and like the way that it's like presented, it's like you kind of figure out how shit happens.
Yeah.
Like as it goes. Oh my god! I forgot. Death Parade did my favorite thing that any fucking media ever does, where you see events, and then they give you the exact same events from a different angle.
I was just thinking that. I was like, I
so
love
good.
episode 2 because it's just episode 1 from a different perspective.
And it's like, because they don't explain shit in episode 1. You're like on this roller coaster with them. And then episode 2 is like, yeah, this is what's going on. And you're like, whoa, okay, this is cool. I like that you took the time to explain this to me instead of like breaking it down for one episode and driving me fucking nuts.
God, I keep going back to the one with the murderers, but God, that episode, like that one handles the similar events from the same event from different people. Like, the insanity of that. Just the one guy who's like just killing people because he was like an ex-cop and he was just like trying to, do justice in his mind, but then like he ends up just killing a bunch of people until he comes out to this one guy, and that guy ends up also killing him. And it's just the one guy who was the cop is just like egging him on to basically just embrace the darkness while they're in this fucking death game. Just like,
yeah, which one was that? Was that table hockey?
Yeah,
air hockey.
Yeah, it was. I was trying to remember what the hell that game was, because like every time they score a goal, they get hurt.
It's like the air hockey where I think the pieces had like body parts and stuff on as well.
And I
just remember they stack up the chips, like the one guy, or like the cop stacks up all of that. Yeah, he like stacks up all of his pieces, slides them to the other guy. It's like, go ahead and do it, and he gives him a knife. As oh god, I forget the girl's name, and she's basically trying to stop him from doing it, and he ends up doing it because that one ends up going into a 2-part episode. And that's the end of the first episode. It's like, oh, okay, fuck.
I just remembered, like, I like for a second I thought there was like I remember the bowling episode and then like the fucking like Twister episode, which are like two kind of like lighthearted ones. And I remember there was a third really good lighthearted one where it was the old woman who played the card game that had like her characters that she drew.
Oh my god, I forgot about that one.
And like that's how she figures out she's in the afterlife, is because she never released one of the characters.
Oh yeah.
That was such a sad
and that was the same person who made the book that the one main character is attached to.
Oh yeah, the like weird.
Yeah.
Oh, that was the one that like I love how they don't explain the rules to the people that are playing the game. Like they don't know that they won't die, like they're already dead.
Yeah.
So like, oh fuck, if we lose this we die. It's like I never said that. The dart one gets me every time though.
Don't hit, it's like when she's like, don't hit the belly or whatever. It's like God, it's such a weird reveal. Where she's like, "Oh, I'm pregnant."
Don't one of them hit the eye or something?
Yeah.
She hits the eye. Oh.
Like, God,
and then like she faked cheating so he could be mad, and that way he'd be reincarnated and she wouldn't be. And like, oh, that was good. That was sad, but that was good.
Man, I'll have to rewatch some fucking Death Parade.
I know.
Death Parade's so fucking good.
I know.
Oh, good. Like a lot of Death Parade.
Like I said, like that should like I don't know how I didn't think about it until like right before before we started filming. I'm just like, I have not watched that show in years. Like I have not sat down and watched like anything about it for years, but I still vividly remember episodes that I felt something for.
Man, do you remember when the main character is ice skating? Remember how beautiful that scene is? Like that's
yeah. That one in the last part of the last episode, I'm just like, oh god.
That is such a
when Deccan's going through like her memories and stuff, I'm like, oh, okay, fuck, this is sad. Like, oh god.
I remember when because Zach played the intro for me, and I'm like, it's a pretty good intro, and Zach's like, this is like the darkest anime I've ever seen for like this happy of an intro. And I was just immediately intrigued, and I watched it, and I was like, oh, it's a feels train, and then some.
I still remember that you and Logan, I stupidly fell for it, but you and Logan tricked me into watching it. You're like, oh yeah, no, Death Parade is just a weird name for like a lighthearted anime.
Yeah, we're like, yeah, listen to this intro, it's really good though. It's like, yeah, it can't be that bad.
Yeah. Well, actually, I'm like, what have you done? But I like it.
And let's talk about the intro though. Because like the meaning behind a lot of the shots is really good. Like how God, like the guy that's what God's right hand man or something.
Is that Oculus?
Yeah, how he has
Fuck
like
Oculus.
the Buddha hands behind him and shit, and
yeah,
he's playing billiards with like planets essentially.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, there's
God.
so much crazy stuff in that intro.
So, yeah, so much like it's like symbology, and then just also like really funny things. Like there's like a really funny shot where you just see like in the background you can see the one girl like rollerblading or whatever, while the main guy's just like clapping while watching.
Or the one like really short character with the fucking DDR machine.
Oh yeah.
I would absolutely love a second season of that.
Yeah.
I don't know if it'll ever happen, but I would die for a fucking second season of that shit.
I want to kill Genji so bad.
Because it kind of, it gives me in like the weirdest way. I keep comparing it to Danganronpa because it kind of reminds me of that, where it's like, yeah, you finished the story, but you still don't know what the fuck is going on. Like, you got to play the other games to figure out the story. So like, I'd almost be really okay with that, even if it's different characters. Aside from Decim, I'd really like them to be in the same place, but
yeah, like that's also something we kind of glossed over, is just how good the place looks. Like it just looks so nice. It's like this like it's like this weird dark bar that just like super fancy. It's like very like interestingly lit.
Yeah.
A lot of blues and blacks, which is kind of hard to pull off, but they do it beautifully.
And the best and just it looks the best in episode 3, which is the bowling episode, because they have like all the water stuff as well.
And I kind of like that they have one episode that has that's in like the Twister episode, which is in like the Japanese style bar. Because I like seeing a little bit of like the other worlds that they have, or the other bars that they have. I'd be really interested to see more, but I don't want to see too much.
Yeah.
And then the fact that he inherited Decim was kind of weird from the one lady. Because do you remember that? She's like, oh yeah, this is my old bar, don't change it too much.
Yeah.
And she just gives it to him, to get a promotion.
Yeah, that's right. It was a different bartender. Yeah, that's right.
Which is weird. They never said what the fuck he was, because I don't think he was necessarily the same, like the main bartender guy. I don't think he was the same as everybody else.
Yeah, he was, I don't remember exactly what it was, but he was like the only one there that actually had feelings, which was kind of the funny thing, because he's the only one who seems like he doesn't have feelings.
Yeah, like he had really sentimental attachments to like a lot of people. That's why he had so many dolls around. Also, the fight scenes, even though they were like really quick, were really good. Where it was him versus the one guy with the Japanese style bar, where they're just like fighting for like a couple seconds.
Oh yeah,
it was so good.
Also, just one little moment that I just remember that I really love is when the arcade game episode where the one girl uses her like special and it's like all of her children.
Oh, oh God. God, that episode, like I've never found like until like A Silent Voice, I never found anything that was so like heavy and dark but still like anti-suicide and stuff. And then that episode came along and I'm just like, oh, I'm like, wow, this is a very all too real like showing of this. I'm like, and then you just had the actress getting murdered by her assistant. I'm like, oh Jesus Christ. She strangled her. Yeah,
I
she
forgot that's what happened.
or something. Yeah, I'm like, oh, these aren't connected at all. These are just like horrible things, but they have families. Like, oh God, okay then. Oh, like, whew.
I'm like reading through some of the episode titles. Some of these are really good.
Yeah.
Death 7 Darts, Death Reverse.
Like a fantastic show. Never in my wildest dreams was it a show that I ever thought that I would have so highly recommended on like have me highly recommend to people, just because like it's very. It almost seems very opposite of my flow, like for animes and stuff they watch. Like normally I go for like lighthearted and actiony, but this one is neither of those.
Mm-hmm.
Like you have some of those, but it's a fairly dark. It's fairly like slow, methodical.
It
and
takes
it has
its
just
time.
like the dark, yeah, and then it just has the dark, grittier moments. It's just like, oh, okay.
I also
But then
love.
you have like the heartwarming moments, like episode 3. It's like, oh, well, it's okay.
I really love how I like the main character's hair and like.
Oh yeah,
Because I like dark hair that has like a streak of something in it. I always think it's really nice looking, and hers has that. But fucking all of the character designs are just so unique. Like even the one-off characters that they have, they're all very unique, and they convey what they need to. Even if it's like, yeah, these are supposed to be boring people.
yeah.
But yeah. God damn it! I really want a season 2 now.
Same.
We should watch it when I come down.
Oh, yeah.
So I'll get together at Jarrett's house and watch it.
I have a nice new TV.
Hey, there you go. Oh, that's right, you do have a nice new TV.
I do. I just have no cable or anything to actually run 4K, so I'm sad. It's still good quality.
So they did like. I love the idea of like mannequins taking on human personas in the weirdest way. I know it's a very weird thing. It's just like that concept's kind of cool to me.
Yeah.
Because like how it's her soul just kind of put into a mannequin, which is like really just interesting. Because I like when like it's like her time is coming, like she's like paint kind of starts chipping away at her hands.
Yeah.
Which is like really dark but really cool. I could sit here and fucking talk about the show all goddamn day.
Just it's a good show.
Yeah. Oh god, I forgot about what's her face's eyes. The little short girl. She had like weird like cross patterns in her eyes.
Nah.
Not enough shows do that where they give characters like unique looking eyes. Because it always looks good in the weirdest, like even if it's super simple, like it's gonna fucking harm me horribly, but like Rick and Morty. Because like
the weird squiggles.
Yeah, like their pupils are just squiggles, but it's unique and nobody does that, and it's really cool looking. Like what Zach was saying in Danganronpa V3, the characters have like V's in their eyes. It's like just,
or
a lot of time lollies are the ones that have that. Like in Blaze Blue, Platinum, the Trinity has hearts in her eyes, but when she switches into like Trinity glass file, the hearts go away to show that it's a different person.
And then you have like May in My Hero, who has the zoom eye, so her eyes have like crosshairs.
And I mean, it's just not enough shows do that. It's a because I mean, eyes are the windows to the soul, but nobody gives a fuck. Man, we were talking about eye cutting, now we're talking about like eye designs. The fuck's going on?
Yeah, for a podcast, we're very visual based, apparently.
Yeah, apparently that's not good.
So Jared, I gotta say, I'm slightly disappointed. You were 2 for 3, but you failed on the third one. You're supposed to pick another anime that had a main character with daddy issues with a burn over one of his eyes. You were 2 for 3. You were so close.
Damn it, Jarrett.
You almost got it.
Wait, was it? Oh no, I was.
Oh, you almost had it.
I didn't even think about that. I forgot about Todoroki. I was like, I got Zuko. Yeah, like Zuko was like, who's the other one? Oh wait, Todoroki, the literal other.
Ugh.
The literal one with a burn over. Oh, God.
All right. Well, let's transition over to our final topic, which is Zach.
Isekai Corner 2. No.
Okay. Yeah. My favorite anime that almost feel like it's gonna be boring to talk about because at least like the whole thing, like at least two of us have at least watched everything we talked about, but my favorite is only I've watched. That's working with an exclamation point. I think actually two exclamation points.
Hold on. Huh?
Because it's like every new season they add like an apostrophe at the end.
As I have it in my folders now, because I pulled these all off of my anime list, it is working with one exclamation point, season 2, which has 2, season 3, which has 3, and then you have www.working, which has 2 exclamation points.
www.working, excuse me.
Yeah.
It's the spin-off that is it's all right. It's like
Did you say it takes place in the same universe as Sword Art?
no, not really. Like there's a Sword Art movie where they go to the restaurant. Not
That's what I was thinking.
like not this. Yeah, not the exact same one. Like the branch though, but not the same branch, but the same franchise.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't. I like working. I don't know why it's my favorite. Like I'm not, I'm not into action. I'm more into slice of life, comedy, romances, and working just has like a lot to offer.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like a really funny workplace comedy, which is also really rare. Like very few good workplace comedy animes. Like there's like working. There's Servant X Service, which is made by the same person, so of course it's fucking good. And there's, like,
Yes.
yeah. But yeah, like it's just really funny. Like, fuck, I don't know what to say about it.
Well, okay,
Because you guys can't say anything.
I can ask you some questions. I'm a decent question asker. So, who's your favorite character and why?
Probably.
See, you got
What to say?
thought provoking. I know what the character designs look like. 'Cause I know there's a girl with the samurai sword. I know that there's fucking the one girl that ate like the pastry bag. Might be the same girl actually. I think that's the same girl.
That's the manager.
Never mind then.
I don't know. I think I might like the chef because he's like very multi-layered. Because he comes off as this like irritable, like easily annoyed guy. Like he's always serious. He kind of like his co-chef. He just like kind of punches him when he's like pisses him off. But he's like his hair covers his eye. And he's always smoking. But he's very multi-layered because he's in love with the girl with the katana. And, like, the girl with the katana is obsessed with the manager, so she just always talks about her when they talk. And, like he doesn't care about the manager, but he just listens because he cares about her and what she's interested in. And like, there are just times where he gets, like, a bit annoyed and, like, he just messes around. Like, there's a character named... He's probably my second favorite character, Popera, who she's like really small and he just fucks with her hair sometimes. It's like when he's irritable, he just starts messing with her hair and she's like, stop.
How many episodes are there? About?
Assuming that they 36, I think, because there's 12 in each season, I think.
There's 13. Yeah, something like 13. Oh, season 3 has 14.
Ooh,
the spin-off has 13.
So approximately 36 main series, and then obviously like 12 or 13 more for the dot work.
Is the series wrapped up or is it?
Yeah, like the 3 seasons is they wrapped it up. Pretty much everybody, like all the relationships that they're teasing at the whole time finally kind of clicked together and finally got together.
Nice.
And then and there's as much as I'm very like iffy about www.working. There's one scene that like makes me like almost like get goosebumps. Like the very first scene of the www.working is the two main characters passing by each other on the street. So it's kind of like they're passing off the torch.
It's kind of cool. So does it take place entirely within the, or mostly in the like place that they work at, or do they go like other places occasionally?
Yeah, they go other places occasionally, but it's mostly in the restaurant. Like, I think at one point they go to Trip, and we see a lot. We see a good bit of the main character's home life because his sisters are also like really eccentric characters.
So, you said this is your favorite. Why is it your favorite?
It's just like, I don't know. I like workplace comedies. I just think it's like a niche genre that's pretty funny. The comedy's really funny. Like all the characters are really funny. Like the main character, he's like, everybody calls him a lolicon, but he's like he's obsessed with anything that's small, and he claims that water fleas are the cutest thing in the entire world because of how tiny they are. Like there's an episode where they find a lost little girl, and then everybody starts screaming that he kidnapped her. It's like, no, I can explain. And like there's a little bit of like relationship, like it's not a romance anime, but it kind of is as well, because we got the relationship between the chef and the katana girl, but then the main guy, he kind of has like a budding relationship with this like girl who's afraid of men, who just punches the shit out of them.
Jesus.
Yeah. So like he's forced into like helping her get over it, but they eventually kind of develop a relationship. Even though he like for the longest time he's like not interested.
So, when did you find this anime?
I don't know. Probably. Probably sometime in middle school. That's when I found like a lot of my like long time like old favorites. Like I remember like late middle school is when I found like Dog Days, Toradora, Clanad. I mean, just Clanad as an example. That's far from my all-time favorites.
You love it.
Yeah, I mean, Dog Days is like also one of my favorites. So I imagine I found those around the same time.
Well, cool. And if you had to recommend this for somebody, who would you recommend it to?
Comedy. People who like comedy. People who like romance. People who like, I don't know. Slice of life, comedy, romance.
Just people who watch Silver Spoons.
I mean, Silver Spoon's good. just anybody who's like not obsessed with action animes and just can like get down with a good like comedy. It is super funny.
Do you know if they have an English dub, or is it all? I'm assuming they have a dub, but do you know if it's good?
I'm pretty sure they don't.
Oh, spooky.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, but I'm pretty sure they don't.
Well, anything else you'd like to say about it?
I don't know.
Don't feel bad. I cut Bleach early, so don't feel.
Yeah. That's what I have to say about watch it. Or if you want like one specific episode to watch the episode where they find the little girl, because that episode is super fucking funny. Especially the scene with the little. Because that episode's so funny because like one, they find the lost little girl, so they're all trying to take care of it. But then there's a subplot where the chef like jokingly tells the manager that like people will lose their jobs if she keeps eating sweets all the times, like keeps eating their product. So she like tries to go the whole day without eating anything, like eating any of the food. So there's a super funny scene where she and the little girl are sitting like in the back room, and the little girl's like eating a cake that someone gave her, and and then like she tries to offer the manager some of the cake, and the manager like takes the fork, gets a little bit of the cake, and then she's about to eat it, and then she can't, and then she feeds it to the little girl. It's so funny because there's no dialogue for that whole scene. It's just that with like the sound of rain, and it's done. It's probably the funniest scene of that whole anime.
I remember you telling what's called when we were building our own slice of life, like the cafe thing. I go to the bar for advice, not drinks.
Yeah, or Magnum.
Our second only to Pasta Chan. I remember when we were building that, you brought up working quite a bit.
Yeah, 'cause I just think more slice of lives need to do workplace comedies. Like Server Service is like near an equal. Like Server Service is probably near an equal to Working for me. The only reason it can't beat Working is because it only has one season. If Server Service had more seasons, it would probably beat Working because I like the characters of that anime more. But I just get to see more of these characters. Also, Working does one thing I love is when they change the opening, because they introduce a character named Yamada, and then they change the openings to include her in them.
It's always nice when they do that. I hate when like a show doesn't update their opening. Like JoJo does that, Part 4 specifically, but I love when they do that shit.
They also add her in the endings and the ending, and it's kind of just funny because they just kind of like place her alongside this other guy. So like she's just like tagging along. So it's funny like that. Like her is just like excitedly playing the tambourine.
Well, all right. I would say that about wraps it up.
Yeah.
It was a good episode.
Oh yeah.
Anything else we need to talk about? Go check out Working. Go watch Bleach, please.
Oh, go watch everything
Support
that
Bleach.
we've mentioned. Bebop, in short, My Hero's still ongoing. If you want something to invest in. Bleach, long but done. Korra and Avatar, done, but Avatar shortish.
If you feel like you what's the word I want to use? You sympathize with us more. Watch everything that we've just recommended you if you haven't already. If you're picky and you only like action, watch Gurren Laggan only. My Hero, obviously. If you want really good, gripping story, Cowboy Bebop, Death Parade.
Yep.
If you want just some good old comedies, Working. And yeah. Alright, well, thank you for joining us. You can find links down to everything in the link dump, along with our Twitters and other social medias if you feel like following us. As always, we post twice a month, and we'll occasionally have a special episode, so be sure to stick around for that. Next week, it's Valentine's week. Be sure to stick around and join us for the romance episode. Ooh.
Ha ha ha.
It's gonna go hot and spicy in here.
Finally,
I know I'm looking forward to that episode. I almost talked about Toradora for this, but I was like, now I'll talk about Working, and I'll save Toradora for the romance episode.
You get to talk about Toradora, I get to talk about Tsuruderu Children.
I can talk about MMO Junkie, because that's like the only romance anime I've ever seen.
Ooh, that's also good.
So yeah, thank you, and have a good day.
Bye, Internet.
Bye.
Don't you do it.
Bet on it.
No.
Bet on it.